Hey guys, guess what? It's Ron Bass. Yep, that's me. With another edition of The Ron Bass Show. It's your source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury.
Happy day to you.
Happy days, sir. Happy Days. That was an old TV show.
It was a great show.
And who was the star?
Well,
Stars.
The most popular one is the Fonz.
Alfonso.
Yeah.
Fonzie. And his real name is... Can't think of the name.
No.
Ron Howard was the other star.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the Andy Griffith Show when he was a little boy.
Then Potsy and Ralph Malph.
Yeah. So Ron Howard went on to become a very successful, famous movie producer.
Yes.
Along with his acting career. He's did a lot of other acting. And he started like super young. Speaking of super young, it's a good idea if you have children, get them involved in something now, like martial arts, like we have our school here in Springfield, Missouri. Get them involved in sports. Get them involved in Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. I did all that too. Youth group, speech and debate. I did that in high school. That was really cool too. So I was just talking to Brent about after I work out in the afternoons, sometimes I'll have a snack later in the day, maybe like a banana, some peanut butter, and I'll get real sleepy. And if I close my eyes for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll open my eyes up and I feel like super refreshed. And I read an article about that. It said that something like that is almost as good as an 8 hours of sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, because when
power nap. It's
crazy. When I come out of that, I'm like rocking it. I mean, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Interesting.
Should you do that more often?
You wouldn't think 10 minutes would matter that much, but wow-ee. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of wow-ee, I used to say that quite a bit at my old martial arts school. People used to make fun of me. Wow-ee. I don't know where I came up with that, but I guess this is sometimes I like to express myself in ways that make people smile or laugh. And by the way, guys, humor really is the best medicine.
I agree.
I'm glad somebody agrees.
Yes.
I paid him to say that.
Yes, I did.
Listen, here's the key, guys. You have to use humor in life it's the medicine. Like Brent's father was a professional comedian. People love to laugh. People love to smile. And if you don't feel like it, put a smile on your face and you'll feel better.
Okay. I feel better.
I'm still saying people don't smile because they're happy because they smile.
Doesn't it take more muscles to frown than it does to smile?
Something like that.
I don't know.
I think they get the idea.
Yeah.
Today I was at the store and people everyone looks so downhearted, and I thought, man, come on. So and I opened up the door. This poor lady, she could barely walk, and I thought to myself, I got no problems, man. Just anytime you think you got problems, look around and you'll feel better, because there's a lot of people with a lot more problems than you got. Man, I just heard from, speaking of, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, I'm just making points today. So I have an old girlfriend that, I'm talking like 40 years ago. Super nice lady. We've stayed in touch all these years, but a couple of years now, really no correspondence, but she called me the other day. And bless her heart, she had pancreatic cancer. This gal can't be 60 years old. I'm not saying that's young, and I think to myself, what happened? Well, she said, I went to the doctor and they said, oh my God, you got to get to the emergency. You've got jaundice. Your eyes are yellow and this and that. So I looked it all up, and it's basically pancreatic, the pancreas and the liver. But she spent her whole life drinking and smoking. Now, is that the reason why she got sick? I can't verify that, but let's just be realistic. When I looked it up, that's one of the leading reasons why people wind up with pancreatic cancer or liver cancer is a lot of drinking and a lot of smoking. So I say that to say this, guys. Is it really worth the pleasure that you get out of that, to know that ultimately you're probably going to have to pay the price for that? That's not to say you can't get sick without, if you don't do it, because anything's possible. People are going to get sick and die every day for a lot of reasons, but why push the cause? Why,
accelerate.
Why accelerate the process? Why push the odds against yourself? It's just not worth it, man. But what happens is, of course, you smoke a cigarette, you're young, the nicotine, next thing you know, I remember when I was really young and I tried to quit. I was probably 16, and I thought, wow, this is really uncomfortable. I don't like how I feel. I'm going to have another cigarette. So I think about that like in an adult scenario. It's 10 times harder because now you've been smoking for a lot more years, so the physical addiction is that much worse. And in the end, it's almost impossible to quit. That's why so few people can really put it down. Okay, they go to nicotine gum, they go to nicotine patches. I get all that, but you're still just kicking the can, really. You got to just leave it alone, and you'll go through a process of feeling uncomfortable for a few months, but you're not going to die. Alcohol's a lot harder. Opiates is a lot harder. Speed's a lot harder. Methamphetamine, cocaine and all that, heroin. I've got a friend of mine that was a heroin addict, and he doesn't do heroin anymore, but I still see that he does marijuana. Now, I saw an article the other day about marijuana. This doctor was saying, look, man, marijuana is horrible for the brain because they did it like 1,000-person study, and it causes horrible memory problems. It's bad enough when you get old you got memory problems. Why make it even worse, right?
That's right.
And not counting the fact that it's a higher risk for anxiety, suicide, and depression. And this is what the studies have shown. This isn't just like me standing on a soapbox preaching. And what's even worse is that the government's supposed to be our friend and protecting us, and now almost everywhere you go, marijuana is illegal. That's crazy. By the way, I didn't realize back in the 20s when they had the prohibition, it was for 13 years. So somebody back in those days, 100 years ago plus, figured out that alcohol is probably not good for you either, and they banned it. Okay, so you still had speakeasies. Did we talk about speakeasy last week? Somebody and I were talking about where did the word speakeasy come from? And we looked it up. It's because you're supposed to say knock softly and speak easy, because these places were illegal. And they were like, in the basements of places, and because you
didn't want anybody to hear you.
Yeah, you couldn't drink alcohol, and bars were outlawed. Isn't that crazy? Think about that.
Yeah.
In today's world, people would go crazy if that were the case.
Yeah. They already are crazy.
I was going to say I'm already crazy. Whole world's crazy, and I'm crazy too.
Yes.
All right. So my friend battling pancreatic cancer had a surgery. She said they got rid of all of it. But I'm thinking to myself, I don't like it when these doctors say, we got rid of all of it. And then they ring the bell. We talked about this another time in one of our other podcasts. That's giving people a false sense of hope, I think, because the average is that the cancer comes back or comes back somewhere else. Once you've got it, it's really tough to get rid of it forever for the rest of your life. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying, there again, it's hard. It's bad enough that you can get sick, have a heart disease, and have cancer if you do everything right. Work out every day, eat right, sleep right, don't drink, don't drive. But when you do all that stuff, guys, you're just increasing the odds so much that it just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'll get off the soapbox. Now if I can read my writing, we'll talk about something else. Forget that one, I can't read it. Can't read that one either. Okay, here's another good story. Another old girlfriend story.
Uh-oh.
I've got a lot of old girlfriends.
Oh, wow.
Well, I never got married, so I dated a lot of girls over the years. And,
yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but I told the story about my parents. They argued every day for 50 years, and growing up in that environment, I just really got turned off with the idea of wanting to be married. Okay, I got engaged twice. I almost pulled the trigger. It's the way it is. But at any rate, I've got this old girlfriend that has been in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. Addiction. And when you're addicted, what happens? Nothing goes right. You don't feel good. You're always struggling to get money to buy the drugs. You can't pay your rent. You can't pay your bills. It's hard enough to do all that if you're working every day and you're sober. Let alone when you have an addiction. Now it's an extra $300, $400, $500 a week on top of the fact you can barely make it anyway. Now you're stealing. Now you're causing drama. Now you're getting in fights. Now you're breaking and entering. Now you're homeless. Now you're on the street. Now you're getting picked up because you're being a vagrant, and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. In and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. Well, at any rate, the other morning I was sound asleep, probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden I wake up and I hear this screaming, because I don't leave my door locked. I keep my screen door open and I keep it unlocked. I'm just not going to live in fear, guys. I'm not going to live that way. People think, Ron, you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. That's how I want to live my life. I don't want to live in a prison. So, at any rate, it was my old girlfriend. And she said, oh my God, are you okay? And this and that. I said, what do you mean, am I okay? I was sleeping. She said, well, your door was open and I didn't. God. Well, of course, the reality was, the reason she really came by was she had this sad story to tell me how she needed her car fixed and she just needed $80 to finish paying for it, which of course was a load of baloney. She just needed money to buy drugs. I didn't give her any money, and I told her, I said, you're just going to have to leave. I got to go to sleep. And then she didn't want to leave. Then she came back again, and I had to escort her out again. But that's what happens when you get to that point in your life. Yes, sir.
You should have said, hey, I have a repair company that works on cars.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
We can fix your car for free.
Guys, there again, I'm not trying to, be negative, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody or be negative. I'm just using real stories to make my point about how important it is to at least try to follow the rules of success. It's not that complicated. And for those of you that are following the rules, congratulations. For those of you that are not, please try to figure it out. Please try to get on board, and you'll just be so much happier. I was thinking about this the other day, how we're all chasing, that feel good. We talk about this all the time. And if you just focus on your own personal development, focus on feeling good about yourself, man. Go to the gym, work out, ride your bike, walk every day, do something for exercise, and get off the bad, foods and don't. If you're doing drugs and smoke, get rid of it. Find something to replace it. When I was smoking, I said, I'm going to start running, which created endorphins, made me feel better, and I started drinking coffee, which caffeine was a drug. So every time I wanted a cigarette, I would drink a cup of coffee. Now, did it make me feel like $1 million? No, but it helped me to take off the edge just a little bit. I can quit drinking coffee right now. I'd probably get a headache because you get addicted.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing as smoking cigarettes, I promise you. So just a little tip. Little tip. Okay, here's a real fun, good story, success story.
Ooh,
Speaking of stories.
I like.
Yeah. So the other day I got a
Success.
message from a girl named Melody who I used to do jiu-jitsu with years ago in Arkansas. And this gal, we became really close because she had just started doing martial arts. She was very young, and we used to talk a lot after class about, hey, don't give up, stay the course, things are going to work out, because she was having some issues with some of the coaches, and this and that was going on. And I said, hey, I get it, but don't give up because you're so athletic, you're so talented, you're so determined, you have a great work ethic, you're so ambitious.
Yeah.
You're a good person. Stay the course, don't give up. And sure enough, years later, she got her black belt. And
Wow.
she did it pretty quick. She'd gotten like 8 years, where the traditional time is 10 to 15 years. Yeah. Make a long story short, I hadn't heard from her in a couple of years. I get a message from her a couple of days ago. Hey, Ron, how's it going? Good to talk to you. Good to see. I'm glad thinking about you. I wanted to message you. And I said, well, how's it going? Good to hear from you. And she said, well, I'm a postmaster now. And I looked it up. Listen, to become a postmaster in the United States Postal System that's like getting your black belt in that world. That's a very, very, very powerful accomplishment. And I remember when she was doing martial arts, she worked 2 jobs, I think in the post office, and I think at FedEx or UPS. And she just had this great work ethic. And this is like 10 years ago. And now, all these years later, to find out that she's a postmaster in a city here in Missouri, wow, I'm just so impressed. But that's another example. And I told her, I said, I'm so happy for you. But that's another example of why it pays off to work hard, stay the course, keep your nose to the grindstone, and don't give up on yourself, no matter what's going on. And she went through a lot of heartache with family members and some relationship issues, and I remember all that. But you know what? She just pushed it all to the side, set her goal, focused on her goal, and never gave up. And now she's at the top of the heap. And from where she's at now, she can only go up to bigger cities, which means more success and more success and more success and more success. That's a really big job, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I've probably said enough for this podcast.
Wow.
I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hey, you were passionate today.
Well, I
you had a lot to
passionate.
say.
Yes. What I could read anyway. I couldn't read it when.
Well, I try to bring something a little bit different each week.
Yes.
And when you were a little kid, did you ever build forts with like sheets and blankets and between chairs? And,
Yes.
And get underneath them
Yes.
and pretend. Well, there's been a new Guinness World Record, and a high school in Nevada, Las Vegas, has built the largest blanket fort
Oh, wow.
ever, 14,103 square feet. Just did it.
What?
Yes.
14,000?
103 square feet.
Man, that's
Yeah.
like 140 small homes. 1,000
Yeah.
square. That's
It's
crazy.
huge. They said it was actually, started out as a kind of a community event where they got together, people came together and helped and
Wow.
helped each other in the neighborhood. Well, but then it turned into, well, let's see how big we can go with this.
Wow.
But yeah, they said that the requirements were there could be no gaps in the fort larger than 1 inch. The sheets all had to touch the ground, and the inside had to be spacious enough for a person to comfortably sit inside there. So
Where could you do this at?
I don't know where
Like,
they
would it have
did
to be
it.
like in a huge warehouse, or it would have to be like
Yeah.
a huge field or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the equivalent of 140 houses next to each other.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of space.
My kids, I did it. My kids did it, and then now my grandkids still do it. They drag all the sheets out, and I get rubber bands and put on the chairs and try to stretch these sheets out so they can.
Did you
get
say
up underneath it.
14,000 or 100?
Let me tell you exactly.
Maybe I'm-
14,103 square
It'd
feet.
be like 14 houses. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
was thinking 144,000.
No,
Okay.
14,103.
That's still a lot of blankets.
Yeah.
A lot of sheets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And
That's
then
cool.
today, there's several things going on today that the world is celebrating.
Oh, we like celebrations.
Yeah. June 3rd, it says June 3rd, is National Repeat Day. June 3rd is National Repeat Day.
I do repeat myself a lot.
June 3rd is National Repeat Day.
That's pretty good.
It's also,
Groundhog Day.
this is funny. It's also National Leave the Office Early Day.
What?
Okay. Well, maybe that's because it's also National Global Running Day, and it's National World Bicycle Day.
We like
so
that.
maybe you should leave the office early so you can do running and bicycling and then repeat.
Yeah, and repeat. I like that. That's cool.
It's so good.
It's
There
pretty
you go.
good. Pretty good stuff.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we bored everybody enough, huh?
Yeah.
We'll get out of here, but before we do, just remember, if you can, if you're not too old, if you don't give up, golly, how many people give up?
I don't know.
It's sad, man.
But you just repeated yourself twice.
Eventually, the stars are going to line up, and when that happens, you're going to be a better person for it. You're going to be a whole lot better off.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember, until that time comes, even after that time comes, the most important thing every day, all day long, is to remain and to stay positive.